It was a bitterly cold December night when the unimaginable happened. In the heart of an affluent suburb, a piercing scream shattered the stillness of a grand estate. "Help! Please, someone help me!" echoed through the silent corridors as a frantic 911 call crackled over the receiver. In that moment, the calm facade of high society was irrevocably torn apart. A lone figure, dressed in elegant attire, her eyes wide with terror, vanished into the shadows, leaving behind nothing but a trail of unanswered questions and an inexplicable emptiness. This was not just another case. It was the mysterious disappearance of the vanishing heiress, a case that decades later still haunts every whispered conversation in the halls of power. In the sprawling town of Westwood Estates, wealth and privilege were the norm. The quiet, tree-lined streets and manicured lawns spoke of a community where secrets were hidden behind closed doors. Among its illustrious residents was Evelyn Sinclair, a 24-year-old heiress known not only for her vast fortune, but also for her enigmatic charm. Raised in luxury, Evelyn's life seemed to have all the makings of a fairy tale. Yet beneath the gilded surface, dark currents stirred. Evelyn was the sole daughter of the Sinclair family, a dynasty with a storied history in business and philanthropy. Described by friends as brilliant, independent, and compassionate, she had recently been in the spotlight for her work with various charitable organizations. However, close acquaintances recalled a different side. A woman tormented by expectations and the burden of legacy. In the months leading up to her disappearance, Evelyn had grown increasingly distant. There were murmurs of a secret romance, a strained relationship with her controlling father, and unexplained absences that no one could account for. On the night of December 12th, a heavy fog rolled over Westwood Estates, shrouding the opulent Sinclair mansion in an eerie mist. At approximately 11:30 p.m., the tranquility was shattered when a piercing cry echoed from the mansion's east wing. Neighbors reported hearing the clatter of breaking glass, followed by the unmistakable sound of hurried footsteps. Within minutes, the local police were alerted by a desperate 911 call. "There's someone inside. She's crying for help." Inside the mansion, chaos reigned. The camera pans slowly over the scene, a lavish foyer, now marred by scattered belongings and shattered glass. In the dim light of a flickering chandelier, a figure could be seen darting down a grand staircase. As officers arrived, one of them, Sergeant Alan Morris, recounted in a somber tone, "I've seen my share of tragedies, but nothing prepares you for the sight of a life disappearing right before your eyes." His voice, captured in the audio of a bodycam recording, carries the weight of a man who witnessed something unexplainable. In the meticulously reconstructed sequence, we follow Evelyn's final moments. The scene unfolds in her elegantly appointed study, a room filled with priceless art, antique furniture, and the soft hum of a grand piano. Evelyn, dressed in a flowing silk gown, is seen in a state of distress. Her eyes dart from one shadowed corner to another, as if expecting to find someone lurking. Suddenly, a forceful knock sounds at the door. "Evelyn, open up!" a deep, menacing voice commands. In a meticulously reconstructed sequence, we follow Evelyn's final moments. The scene unfolds in her elegantly appointed study, a room filled with priceless art, antique furniture, and the soft hum of a grand piano. Evelyn, dressed in a flowing silk gown, is seen in a state of distress. Her eyes dart from one shadowed corner to another, as if expecting to find someone lurking. Suddenly, a forceful knock sounds at the door. "Evelyn, open up!" a deep, menacing voice commands. In a trembling whisper, Evelyn replies, "Who's there?" The door swings open to reveal a silhouette, a man whose face is obscured by the brim of a fedora. Before she can react, a struggle ensues. The camera lingers on the chaotic scuffle, overturned chairs, scattered documents, and a single sharp object glinting in the low light. As the confrontation escalates, a deafening noise, a gunshot, resonates through the room. In that frozen moment, Evelyn's hand drops the necklace she wore every day, a family heirloom passed down through generations. The final image is that of her eyes wide with shock, a silent plea for mercy that goes unanswered. In an interview recorded shortly after the incident, a housekeeper whose voice quivers with fear recalls, "I heard her scream. It was like nothing I've ever heard before. I ran towards the sound, but by the time I got there, she was gone." An audio clip from the 911 call plays in the background, a mixture of muffled cries, the sound of hurried footsteps, and the distant echo of a phone being dropped. These raw, unfiltered details transport the viewer directly into that horrifying night, making the tragedy palpable and immediate. Every element of the scene is brought to life with vivid description. The cold, damp air that seeped through the mansion's old stone walls, the scent of expensive perfume mixed with the iron tang of blood, the visual of the ornate rug stained irreversibly with crimson. Each detail is meticulously crafted to heighten the sense of dread. The slow-motion replay of Evelyn's retreat down a dark corridor, her fingers grazing the cold marble, underscores the chilling reality that, in one night, a life once vibrant was snuffed out like a candle in the wind. By dawn, the Sinclair mansion had transformed into a sprawling crime scene. Detective Laura Henderson, known for her meticulous attention to detail, took charge of the investigation. "This isn't a simple case of burglary gone wrong," she told reporters, her voice measured but resolute. The initial sweep of the mansion revealed unsettling clues. A toppled vase near the study door, inexplicable smudges on a polished table, and a series of footprints leading towards a concealed exit in the rear garden. Forensic teams arrived swiftly, their every movement methodical and precise. They dusted for prints, photographed every shattered shard of glass, and collected fibers and trace evidence. One forensic specialist, while examining a partially burned letter found in the study, noted, "This document might be the key to understanding what Evelyn was trying to tell us." The letter, later reconstructed from its charred remnants, hinted at secret meetings, coded messages, and an impending threat that she had desperately tried to decipher. As the investigation unfolded, interviews with family members, friends, and staff painted a perplexing picture. Richard Sinclair, visibly distraught, claimed ignorance. "I loved my daughter. I would never harm her," he insisted during a tense interview. His measured tone, however, did little to quell the growing suspicions about his involvement. Friends recalled heated arguments between Evelyn and her father, and one close confidant revealed in a hushed conversation, she was scared of him. It wasn't just the pressure of her legacy, it was the controlling, suffocating nature of their relationship. A pivotal moment in the investigation came when detectives reviewed hours of security footage from surrounding properties. Grainy video captured a dark sedan idling near the mansion just before the incident. In one particularly striking frame, the vehicle's headlights illuminate a figure leaning against the car, a figure whose face remains hidden in the shadows. Forensic analysis of tire tracks and the vehicle's paint on the driveway added an additional layer of intrigue to the case. The digital trail left behind by Evelyn offered another crucial breakthrough. Investigators recovered deleted emails and text messages from her personal devices, uncovering a series of cryptic warnings. One email, addressed to an unknown recipient, read, "If you think you can silence the truth, you're gravely mistaken." The tone was desperate and resigned, a plea for help from someone who knew the stakes were far higher than a simple family feud. During a tense moment in a reconstructed interview, Detective Henderson explains, "These messages suggest that Evelyn was aware of a threat, a danger that was closer than we ever imagined." The digital evidence pointed to a web of extortion, betrayal, and possibly even an external orchestrator who had manipulated the Sinclair family's internal conflicts for their own gain. To bring the investigation to life, the case was reenacted with dramatic precision. A forensic expert is shown in a lab, carefully examining a set of fingerprints lifted from the broken glass. "The prints here match no one in our immediate circle," the expert declares, highlighting the possibility of an unknown assailant. Another segment features an audio-enhanced recording of a 911 call, where the disjointed, panicked voices offer fragmented insights into the night's events. These expert analyses, intercut with real-life interviews and dramatized sequences, gradually piece together the puzzle. The evidence suggests that while the immediate altercation in the mansion involved Richard's presence, there was another force at work, a hidden hand that manipulated the scene to serve a far darker agenda. The re-examined digital footprints, the forensic anomalies, and the murky testimonies all pointed toward a conspiracy that had remained dormant for years, only to emerge in a moment of catastrophic failure. The investigation took a dramatic turn when a breakthrough came from an unexpected quarter. A local private investigator, long intrigued by the Sinclair family's secrets, revealed that an unnamed associate of Richard Sinclair had been seen meeting with Evelyn in secret. This revelation, based on surveillance footage and corroborated by several eyewitnesses, suggested that Evelyn might have been entangled in a complex web of financial and personal betrayal. It appears she was trying to break free from a situation that was rigged against her, the investigator noted, his voice tinged with sadness and resolve. Detective Henderson, now more determined than ever, ordered a deep dive into the Sinclair family's financial records and private communications. The results were startling. Hidden transactions, coded messages, and a series of anonymous warnings all indicated that Evelyn S.'s disappearance was not merely a domestic dispute gone awry. It was a calculated move in a high-stakes game of power, greed, and revenge. After months of relentless investigation, the case finally reached a critical juncture. The evidence, meticulously compiled and analyzed, led to the arrest of Richard Sinclair on charges of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and ultimately, the indirect involvement in his disappearance. In a courtroom filled with tension and heartbreak, the prosecution presented its case with a steely determination. Prosecutor Martin Pope recounted the overwhelming vigilance of forensic evidence, the hidden emails, the digital footprints, and the witness testimonies all converge on one undeniable conclusion. This was no accident. The trial was a media spectacle, with every courtroom session drawing intense public scrutiny. Family members of Evelyn testified tearfully, their voices breaking as they recounted the pain of losing a beloved daughter. "I remember her laughter, her kindness," one sibling said, struggling to maintain composure. "And now all that is left are questions that haunt us every day." Richard E.S. defense argued that he was a victim of circumstance, a man caught in the crossfire of a much larger scheme. They pointed to the possibility of an external accomplice, a shadowy figure whose identity remained elusive. Despite these arguments, the jury found Richard Sinclair culpable, sentencing him to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The verdict sent shockwaves through Westwood Estates, shattering the illusion of a perfect, secure community. In the wake of the trial, the once proud Sinclair name became synonymous with betrayal and tragedy. Westwood Estates, a town that prided itself on its exclusivity and safety, was forced to confront its darkest secrets. Vigils were held in honor of Evelyn, a young woman whose promise was cut tragically short. Local news outlets ran continuous coverage, dissecting every piece of evidence and speculating on the motives that had driven a father to such desperate measures. Social media erupted with heated debates. Some residents demanded further investigation into the possibility of an unknown accomplice, while others insisted that justice had finally been served. One poignant post read, "We lost our daughter to a web of lies and deceit. No amount of punishment can bring her back, but we must ensure her story is never forgotten." The outpouring of public grief underscored the lasting impact of the case on a community already scarred by loss. legal proceedings drew to a close, lingering questions remained. Was Richard Sinclair acting alone, or was he merely a puppet in a larger, more sinister plot? The mysterious emails, the unknown figures caught on surveillance, and the financial irregularities hinted at an accomplice who had managed to elude capture. Detective Henderson, in a reflective interview with local media, stated, "While the conviction brings a semblance of closure, I believe the full truth of what happened that night is still waiting to be uncovered." In the months following the trial, renewed investigations were launched. Cold case experts and independent journalists began to re-examine the evidence, driven by the belief that the disappearance of the heiress was only one chapter in a broader narrative of corruption and hidden agendas. Despite these efforts, the identity of the elusive accomplice remained shrouded in mystery, a final, unsettling reminder that even when justice is served, some secrets refuse to be fully unearthed. As the years have passed since that fateful December night, the haunting legacy of Evelyn Sinclair endures. Westwood Estates, once a picture-perfect community, now carries the scars of betrayal and loss. The case of the vanishing heiress has not only reshaped the lives of those directly involved, but has also served as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving. Behind the gleaming facades and perfectly manicured lawns, the darkness of human ambition and deceit can lurk just beneath the surface. Detective Henderson, speaking in the quiet aftermath of the investigation, reflected on the nature of truth and deception. Every case we solve opens up new questions. In the pursuit of justice, we often find that the truth is not a single, clean line, but a labyrinth of shadows. Her words resonate deeply, urging us to consider that in our own lives, the search for truth may uncover unsettling realities we'd rather leave hidden. The Sinclair case forces us to ponder the price of legacy and the cost of power. Evelyn's life, marked by both brilliance and sorrow, serves as a testament to the fragility of human existence and the relentless pursuit of control by those who fear losing it all. As her family continues to grapple with the aftermath of her disappearance, and as a community strives to heal from its collective wound, one thing remains clear. The vanishing of an heiress is not merely a cold case to be archived. It is a living, breathing warning of the dangers that lie in the shadows of wealth and influence. To the residents of Westwood Estates, the trial may have ended, and a man may be serving his sentence behind cold iron bars. But the echoes of that night continue to reverberate. In quiet moments, when the wind howls through the empty corridors of the Sinclair mansion, some say they can still hear the faint whisper of Evelyn's screams, a reminder that the past is never truly gone, and that some secrets are forever lost in the darkness. Before we close this chapter, consider this final thought. In a world where every truth can be manipulated and every facade can crumble, how do we distinguish between the light of justice and the shadows of deceit? The case of the vanishing heiress compels us to remain vigilant, to question what we see, and to remember that even in the safest communities, darkness may be lurking just beneath the surface. Thank you for joining us as we revisited one of the most perplexing and haunting cases in recent history. If Evelyn S. story has stirred something within you, or if you have any theories about the unresolved mysteries that still linger, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might help shed light on the shadows that continue to obscure the full truth of this case. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our future investigations into true crime stories that challenge us to look deeper into the human condition. Each case we explore is a reminder that justice is a journey, fraught with twists, turns, and sometimes questions that may never be fully answered. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and always remember, behind every closed door, there might be a story waiting to be uncovered. Until next time, keep questioning and keep seeking the truth.